Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The rate at which the population is decreasing, I guess on the last day I'll be the only one perhaps, When a person having small issues in life, a close family member always taunts them saying, "It is your karma." Even though it is true, it is harmful, as a person is intentionally hurting. What happens to their karma? Will they be punished? It doesn't matter what happens to somebody else's karma, what does it matter? We are concerned about ourselves. And only thing you can do is not to get hurt when somebody says it's your karma. Because nobody knows why a given thing is happening really. To know this is the cause of what is happening to you, you must be omniscient. And so somebody as though omniscient says it's your karma. Let them say. Why do you feel hurt? Oh, it's my karma, I am responsible for what's happening to me. We are always. The present is always the product of the past, and so we have to take responsibility for what we are, because we are a product of what we must have done in the past. So when somebody says, it's a very cruel thing to say, it's your karma. It's like going to the hospital and somebody is, in pain and says, it's your karma. Which people do sometimes, because they don't know how it affects the other person. So if the person is intentionally hurting, it's for us not to get hurt. Somebody can hurt me if I allow myself to be hurt. All that somebody can do is to say something or do something. Whether to get hurt by those words or those actions is up to me. We have that freedom. And so we know this person now whose nature it is to push our buttons. And so we have to work on ourselves and you can rehearse it in your mind. That today then I'm likely to meet this person. Person will say it's your karma. How am I going to respond? If you rehearsed it beforehand, then you are ready. Okay, let the person say it's my karma. Even if it's my karma, so what? I can't change it. We have to deal with what is, whoever's karma it is. And karma is a very common. Yesterday somebody asked, if some accident happens, is their karma, my karma, joint karma, this karma. Swamiji, if an airline crashes, 300 people, whose karma is it? Is joint karma? It's a very complex issue. Karma is a general answer. What that karma is, who performed it and when performed, nobody knows. So karma is, Pujya Swami's words, is like a shock absorber. Absorb the shock. To some extent, So then we can recover and deal with the situation. But it is true that this is very common, it's your karma, because in this culture, because we are raised with this whole idea of karma, which is cause and effect, and somehow some people may have a tendency to always hold themselves responsible, blame themselves. And so by saying karma, in a way I may be blaming myself. So it's not so much the karma as much as my habit of self-blaming. So let us look at that and tell myself, why am I blaming? For what? What do I know? What do I know about the past? What do I know about what I have done? And so to what extent is it, this is judgment, that my karma is responsible for this? How do you know? And when something happens, more than one person is involved, so it's my karma, that person's karma, this karma, joint karma. And so karma is just meant to tell us that there is a reason for what happens, and then do what is to be done. And make sure that you perform good karma in the present. Should we love others at the cost of our own happiness and well-being? Should we love others at the cost of our own happiness and well-being? See, to love, there is no will involved in loving somebody. Love has to happen. If you could will the love, the people will never separate. There will be no, if two persons had the will to love each other, they would always want to. But that does not happen. Love has to happen. We cannot will. Happiness has to happen. We cannot will. Love has to happen. We cannot will. All we can do is to create the conditions where love may possibly manifest. Like bring gift and do whatever, so create an atmosphere where love may possibly manifest. But love, our Swami used to say, is not a verb. It's a noun. Meaning that you cannot love. We don't have freedom to love. Love has to happen. We have no freedom to just be happy. Well, what's the use of saying that? If I could be happy, well, I would always want to be happy, but happiness is not something I can will. Happiness has to happen. I can create conditions where happiness manifests. I can try to create conditions where love will manifest. But we have no will to love. You follow? Somebody says, be happy. Just don't get angry, I never get angry. Anger gets me. I never get angry. We never get angry. Meaning that there is no will involved in anger happens. Anger gets me. I don't get anger. So what's the use of saying, don't get angry? I don't get angry. Anger gets me. And so similarly also, this love, should we love? If you could love, then please love everybody. Then there is no cost. Love means that no cost is involved. Love always means giving. When there is love, you are always motivated to do something. Love results usually in doing something for the object of love. Nobody is to tell me, because when I love you, then I am happy to attach. This is called love, when I am happy at the happiness of another person. That's called love. I am happy at the tat sukhe sukhitvam. My happiness is because of happiness of another person. That is called love. that means that I always try to make the other person happy. And if I am successful in making that person happy, that makes me happy also. So it's not that we should love others. There is no way that you can love. It's not, there is no freedom, no free will to love. At the cost of our own happiness and well-being? I don't know what you mean by that. I love others at the cost of my happiness and well-being. What do I do? What is meant by loving somebody? Giving gift? I don't know what is meant by loving somebody. So as I said, love is not a, repeating what Pujya Swami used to say, it is not a verb. To be very frank with you, I myself didn't understand what he was saying at that time. What is not love? But now that I'm telling you, I understand, that it is not a verb, it is a word. And you can't love, there's no freedom to love. You can create situation where love can manifest. So, at the cost of our own happiness and well-being, when you love, you automatically are happy. Love means happiness. So when you love, when love happens for somebody, automatically you are happy. Therefore, nothing separate is to be done for being happy. Just love. How do you love? Just give. Try to make others happy. How? Doing what they like. How do you make somebody happy? So when this married couple would come to Pujya Swamiji and he would give this advice to them. Husband should make wife happy. Wife should make husband happy. That's put them in a right for the life, Each one trying to make the other one happy. When do you make somebody happy? I become happy when my likes and dislikes are satisfied. So for me to make you happy, I should satisfy your likes and dislikes. And for that, I should be willing to let go of my likes and dislikes. To satisfy your likes and dislikes, I should be ready to let go my likes and dislikes. So love always involves letting go of something which is, dear to me. Otherwise, if you don't have to let go of anything, there is no sacrifices involved, then everybody would love. And the cost of my own happiness and well-being, no. When you love it, there is no cost. Should I love others at the cost of our own happiness and well-being? In love, no cost is involved. In fact, in love, all gain is involved because you will be happy. When, as a result of your love, the other person becomes happy, that makes you happy. Is unconditional love possible if we are conscious in the realm of relationships? Is unconditional love possible if you are conscious in the realm of relationships? That's a little difficult to understand. In the realm of relationships, we are conscious in the realm of relationships. What is that? We are always conscious. The realm of relationships, we are conscious. On what basis does my mind decide one thing is beautiful, other is ugly? On what basis my mind decides something is beautiful, something is ugly? There's no basis, it's a fancy. So beautiful, my fancy. Ugly is also my fancy. So what looks beautiful today may not look beautiful tomorrow and vice versa. It is just the fancy of the mind, because in reality what is beautiful. If what is Ishvara, then what is beautiful, is it not so? I realize that's not the case with us. That requires us to become totally free from all raga and dveshas, or the extent to which we are. The extent to which our mind is sattvic, to that extent we will like things. Don't have to make an effort to like something, just like. I don't make an effort to like this thing. Like may happen. So we have to, in short, work with our own mind, mold our mind, meaning remove the raga dveshas from our own mind, so that it's easier to become happy. Is raga dvesha the obstacles to my happiness? And rather than trying to be happy, remove the obstacles of, meaning what is raga that demands? You should do this, that person should do this, should not do that. I put conditions on everybody. Not only while we are driving on the road that this traffic light must be green when I go there and should not be red, etc. Or what should the mayor of my city do, and what should the chief minister of my state do, and what should the prime minister do? I have a prescription of everybody. But to like something, as I said, we have to grow. To make demands is easy, but to like something, we have to grow such that we contact the beauty which is there in that, which is everywhere. And Brahman is a beauty, Atma is a beauty which pervades everything. We get stuck with this name and form and therefore fail to contact the universal. And so all we can do is to work on the attachment, aversions, raga, dveshas, our demands, expectations. Try to let go of the expectation, let go of the demands. How? By accepting things as they are. Accepting a person as a person is. I always make a demand that other person should change for my sake. That's the usual situation. The other person thinks that I should change for their sake. That's how the conflict goes on in relationship. If each one is willing to change for other, there will be heaven. You need only two persons to create heaven. You need two persons to create hell. Both ways. You don't need more. It's for you to create heaven. By accepting the other person, let go of my expectations and demands as much as I can. Do whatever I can do for the other person. So easier for you to say because you are just to talk, that may be so. Doing may be difficult. But that is the only solution that I understand. No? Where and how did this compartmentalization in my mind begin that something is beautiful and something is ugly? In other words, how did this raga and dvesha originate in my mind? Lord Krishna says that we are born with the tendency to relate with everything with raga and dvesha. The third chapter of the Gita, Lord Krishna says, Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvesha vyavasthito. With reference to every sense object corresponding to a sense organ, the relationship that we have is of raga and dvesha, of like and dislike. Tayornava Shamagache, Lord Krishna says, do not come under the sway of these ragadveshas. Tauhyasya paripantino. They are enemies on the way of your happiness. They rob the happiness or peace of our mind. Raga and Dvesha. We are there, we have it. We are born with that. So now we are fortunate that we are exposed to study Vedanta where all this is discussed. Bhagavad Gita in particular. And so that gives us an opportunity to understand our own selves and see what we should do. Any question on this? Pure awareness, Chaitanya, may be highly indispensable for our cognition. Yet what difference does it make if we are aware, I don't know, about awareness, Atma or not, when it functions without our volition or involvement? Well, that is what was the theme of discussion this evening. This is the third. What is the date today? Okay, so this is yesterday's question. Does this question still remain? So, okay. All right. Very good. Yeah. So, am I understanding this correctly? Then the understanding is stated. The Vedas contain karmakanda which detail elaborate rituals to fulfill desires. They also contain the Upanishads which emphasize the acquisition of desires as a cause of unhappiness or suffering. How to make sense of two seemingly contradictory sets of information coming from the same text? So, the Karmakanda section does prescribe a number of rituals to fulfill various desires. But the main theme of Karmakanda section is Dharma. There are two themes in the Veda. One is Dharma and other is Brahma. The theme of Karmakanda is Dharma, the righteousness, how to do things correctly and rightly, the right values and righteousness in our life. And Upanishads, the topic is Brahma. So, not only the Vedas teach us what actions or rituals to perform to fulfill various desires, but they also teach us what the values are, what the dharma is. So dharma, the righteous way of living, is the theme of the first section of the Veda. And knowledge of Brahman is the theme of the second section of Veda. It is true that Karma Kanda prescribes many rituals to fulfill our desires, but the hoping that today or tomorrow will become free from those desires. It is like a child has not grown yet, therefore the mom may give him the chocolate. But the mother hopes that a day will come when he will grow out of chocolate and then want something more healthy. So yes, the Karma Kanda does prescribe many rituals to fulfill desires, hoping that in the process of fulfilling desires he will grow, because we do follow dharma also in performing rituals. So that dharma will help this person to grow and discover an inner satisfaction so that he progressively becomes free from desire. The way to become free from desire is to discover inner satisfaction. We cannot will to give up desire, understand? Desire has to go. Desire is the result of self-dissatisfaction. And therefore, more we perform the act of kindness, act of contribution, that's the way to discover the inner satisfaction. And more we discover that, less will be the desires which arise from inner dissatisfaction. As we had mentioned in jest, there could be a case, if not many, where your spouse or partner might follow a different path to spirituality, knowing that Vedanta requires an intense dedication and commitment. How to manage diverse paths in a household where there is little appreciation for the Vedantic way. Even if the spouse or the partner does not understand the Vedantic way, as long as they give you freedom to follow your way, so long it's fine. Even after following, understand that if they don't give you freedom, the important thing is that each one gives the other the freedom to follow their own choice. And if possible, help. And two persons are different, so it's likely that their choices may be different. They may come from different backgrounds, and there was somebody likes yoga, somebody likes Vedanta, somebody likes rituals, somebody likes bhakti. Depending upon the upbringing, and therefore it's likely that this husband and wife may have different choices. The right thing to do is to understand the other one and give them the freedom and help them and be helped. Rather than, we don't demand that the other person also should follow the same path that we do. That kind of freedom we should give if we can. So that takes care of questions. I have any other questions? Is there something there? Oh, this one here. Okay. This retreat tells us that reaction of everyone is work for benefit of self. But life is full of coincidences and life and death process is by prarabdha. How can a devoted bhakta work only for self-interest rather than sarve bhavantu sukhina? Well, if you work for your own interest, in a way others will be benefited. Because as you bring about a change in yourself, it does contribute something to the environment also. So your being good person will contribute a little bit goodness in the universe. So sarve bhavantu sukhina can be a prayer. What can you do to make the whole world happy? Pray. But at the same time, work on yourself to grow emotionally, spiritually, and that way automatically you contribute in this whole scheme of things. When we were students, then there was this friction, and then so when you do some little thing and create, heat, they said that contributes to the total heat content of the whole universe, which is infinitesimal. You cannot even, you can measure. And so also what your action contributes to the whole universe is no way to measure, but infinitesimal. Meaning that what we can do is to do what best we can do and pray for the well-being of everybody else. Sarve bhavantu sukhi, what can you do? For sarve bhavantu means what? You go and feed people, you can do. If that is in your nature to help or serve the poor, do that. There is no way that you can make the whole universe happy anyway. But make as many people happy as you can. If that is your, orientation. Sarve bhavantu sukhena, there is nothing that one can do to make the whole world happy. Unless you grow to such a stature, such purity, and such sanctity that a presence contributes to the environment, you can do that. Okay, then any other questions?